In today's video, I'm going to go over my short trade on the ticker KLMN, a textbook OTC pump and dump. Now this ticker had a big crash a few days ago. You can check out my previous video to see how I played that. I'm John Papa. I'm an OTC trader, and I mostly have been trading to the long side, mainly because these hard to borrow shares are just that. They're hard to borrow. I finally have a good broker that's got great locates, so I've been trying to up my short game, and I really nailed it today. Made massive profits, massive percent gains. So let's get into the charts and see how I played this. Again, this ticker is KLMN, and a month ago this was trading at $1.25, and they managed to pump it all the way up to $12.50. That's 1,000% gain in 1 month. But I'd never suggest going long on these pump and dumps because you know how they're going to end. So as I said in my last video, I showed you how I attacked this first red day here. And then since that day, I've been waiting for this bounce, waiting to reattack it and hopefully get a bigger piece of the move than I got the last time. So here's a 15-minute chart. That first short that I did was right around here at $11. I swung it for a few days. I held it all the way through the crash. Unfortunately, I didn't cover it down here, and I ended up letting it bounce, and I covered it the next morning, giving back a few dollars a share. This time, I was really determined to not do that, and I was going to cover it closer to the bottom. So if we take a look at a 5-minute chart, this is just today's price action. You can see that this opened up out of the gate and it went green just a little bit, about 20 cents before it started pulling back. And as this went green to red, I went ahead and I located 300 shares. And I shorted my first 200 shares into the weakness on the way down. I shorted them at $6.75. But then I went ahead and I let it bounce. And it bounced right here about $6. And I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to just bounce and then end up being saved and going higher. So I waited for to add my last 100 shares until I was more sure that this was really going to break down today. And so you can see that it started going sideways, and then as that sideways action started cracking, I went ahead and shorted my last 100 shares at $7. Now that gave me 300 shares from a $6.83 average. And from that point on, it was all about patience. And so my goal was really to wait till it cracked below this level here that had supported on that previous big red day. I was hoping that if it could break this approximately $3.50 level, that maybe it would crack all the way down to like $1.50 or $2.50 maybe. Somewhere much lower than that. I expected a big panic below that level. So that was the goal going into this trade. Going back to this 5-minute chart, it was just about waiting, and there was pulls and then little bounces and sideways action, more pulls, little bounces, sideways action, pulls, little bounce, pull, little bounce. And then as the sideways action got shorter in duration and we started getting these bigger pulls closer and closer together, I knew that it was going to be closer to the bottom of this downtrend for today. And as it broke down below $4 here, I went ahead and I covered my first 100 shares at $3.75, right about here, and then it bounced back up and it pulled, and now you can see, so when it cracked $4, that was on pretty big volume. And then over the next 15 minutes, remember this is a 5-minute chart, over these next 3 candles here, there was very little volume, and it was just slowly fading. And then all of a sudden it got this big volume surge. And that worried me a little bit. And I'll show you why. That volume came in after it had basically bottomed right around this same level. This level that it had bottomed at a few days ago on its big crash. And so that was dip buyers coming in thinking that maybe that was going to be a double bottom and it was going to keep going up. And so because of that, I went ahead and I covered my next 100 shares at $4.14, right up here as it started pushing back up on big volume. But luckily for me, I guess, that was very short-lived and it pulled back hard. And I covered my last 100 shares here at $3.06. So overall, I made a 47% gain on those 300 shares. They had cost me about a little less than $2,100 to short, and I ended up making just under $1,000 in one day on this trade. This was such a beautiful trade. I'm really happy with my entries. I like shorting it on the initial green to red move. I like adding to my short on this initial bounce. And I really like my covers down here as it made this big crack on volume, and then as it bottomed out here towards the end of the day. So this was just overall a great trade. I'm super happy about it. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos about trade recaps, video lessons, or anything else I might share related to trading and my journey in this great career. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.